There's nothing quite like seeing a brand new Hayao Miyazaki movie in the theater. So The Boy and the Heron is the latest animated film brought to us by Hayao Miyazaki, in which we follow a young boy named Mahito as he is yearning for his mother. He ventures into a world shared by the living and the dead, and in this world, while death comes to an end, life has a new beginning. Alrighty guys, so let's get into The Boy and the Heron.
Excellent!
Hayao Miyazaki, at least in my eyes, besides Pete Docter, is the greatest animation director of all time. I mean, there is no comparison out there. Every single one of his films is either great or just legendary, being one of the greatest, not just one of the greatest animated films of all time, but some of the greatest films of all time, period. When he originally announced that he had retired after The Wind Rises came out, which I cannot believe it's been over 10 years, as y'all can imagine, I was very saddened. But then I found out he was coming out of retirement for another film, and I've heard that he has more ideas, which, thank goodness. Going into this movie, I was so darn excited, and I'm so happy to say that The Boy and the Heron is another great film within Hayao Miyazaki's filmography. I need to talk about how glorious and how beautiful the animation is. This is a Hayao Miyazaki movie, and if his visuals were not good, that would be like a huge news report right there. The character designs, the overall color palette, the environments that he draws, the fluidity of the animation, the absolutely stunning, and I mean stunning world building. Once again, it should be no shock whatsoever that a Hayao Miyazaki animated film is absolutely stunning, because my god, this movie is stunning to look at. Before I continue, I want to talk about the voice cast. Just to let you all know, my showing was for the English dub, so I'll be talking about the English voice cast here. The English voice cast here was terrific. Whether it was Luca Badovan, I'm pretty sure I butchered his name, who voiced Mahito, Christian Bale voices his father, Robert Pattinson voicing the Heron, to which I can believe that was him because I didn't recognize his voice whatsoever. Florence Pugh, Gemma Chan, Mark Hamill, not to mention Willem Dafoe, Karen Fukihara, again, I'm pretty sure I butchered her name, she plays in The Boys. Dave Bautista in this movie. I mean, the voice cast in the English dub did all terrific in this movie. Something else in particular that I absolutely loved was the musical score. The musical score in The Boy and the Heron was just simply put gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's just epic and majestic. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce the composer's name, so I'm just going to put his name right here. This particular score was, just to say the least, absolutely stunningly beautiful. Something else in particular that I was not expecting about this movie was just not only how deep this movie was, but how mature this movie was. If y'all have seen any Hayao Miyazaki film out there, there's definitely deeper and much more mature stuff within this film, so there's always this bigger, grand sense of childlike wonder. But this movie is without a doubt Hayao Miyazaki's not only his most mature film, but easily his deepest, and I would say his most challenging film yet. Especially due to the fact this movie deals with the themes of death, grief, love, compassion. But the best thing about all this is that despite this movie being a deeper and a much mature Hayao Miyazaki film, is that this movie still keeps that childlike wonder, that whimsical feeling that you all know and love from Hayao Miyazaki's previous work, and it absolutely shines here.
Well, that's just fucking great!
While this movie is really good, actually great in fact, do I think that this movie is among Hayao Miyazaki's best works? Unfortunately, I don't. While The Boy and the Heron most definitely has its emotional beats, and there are some beats that really did work. I mean, there is one particular beat that actually had my jaw drop. But as far as the emotional core and the heart of the story, I just don't think it was as fleshed out as it could have been. I also do think the story was a tad bit incoherent at times. There were definitely times throughout the story where it just veered a little bit too off course, and there is definitely some bit of incoherence, not throughout the story, but some parts just didn't quite get it for me. The Boy and the Heron is over 2 hours and 10 minutes. Personally, it didn't need to be that long, at least in my eyes. If you brought this movie down to around an hour 45, even an hour and 50 minutes, that runtime I feel like would have made the film such a better and such a streamlined movie. It was just a tad too long.
And here we go.
So overall, while I don't think that The Boy and the Heron is one of Hayao Miyazaki's best films, at the same time, this movie is still a really good, if not a great addition to Hayao Miyazaki's legendary filmography. All in all, I'm going to give The Boy and the Heron a 4 out of 5. The Boy and the Heron is a great and a beautifully animated film, and if this movie is playing at a theater near you, please go check it out, guys. This is such a well done and still nonetheless a beautiful film, guys. So comment down below and let me know. Have you guys seen The Boy and the Heron? What did you think of the film? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'm also on Twitch. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the users' names are in the description below. I hope you enjoyed my review of The Boy and the Heron. If so, push that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell for my latest review goes live. If you guys want to see my previous 2 reviews, please click it right there or right there. And of course, when my next review or video goes live, I'll see you all next time.